Once upon a time, in a quaint little town nestled between rolling hills and whispering forests, there were two boys who couldn't have been more different if they tried. Let me tell you about them. First, there was Tommy, the epitome of a good boy. With his wide, earnest eyes and a smile that could light up the darkest corners, he was the kind of kid who always had a kind word and a helping hand ready for anyone who needed it. Tommy's heart was as big as the sky above, and his spirit was as pure as the babbling brook that wound its way through the meadows. And then, there was Jake, the mischievous rascal of the town. With his tousled hair and a glint in his eye that spelled trouble from a mile away, he was the kind of kid who danced to the beat of his own drum, consequences be darned. Jake was like a whirlwind, stirring up trouble wherever he went, leaving chaos and laughter in his wake. Now, you might think that Tommy and Jake would have nothing in common, but you'd be wrong. Despite their differences, they were the best of friends. Tommy saw the goodness buried deep within Jake's wild heart, and Jake admired the unwavering kindness that radiated from Tommy like sunshine. Their adventures were legendary. From climbing trees to racing bikes down the winding streets, there was never a dull moment when Tommy and Jake were together. Tommy would always be the voice of reason, gently nudging Jake away from trouble whenever he strayed too close to the edge. And Jake, well, he was the spark that ignited Tommy's sense of adventure, urging him to leap before he looked and embraced the thrill of the unknown. One sunny afternoon, as they sat perched atop their favorite hill, watching the world stretch out before them like a painting come to life, Tommy turned to Jake with a serious expression on his face. "Jake," he said, his voice soft but determined, "I know you like to walk on the wild side, but sometimes, it's important to think before you act. You don't want to end up getting hurt, or hurting someone else, do you?" Jake looked down at his feet, scuffing the dirt with the toe of his shoe. He knew Tommy was right, but sometimes it was hard to resist the thrill of adventure, the rush of adrenaline that came with pushing the boundaries. "I know, Tommy," Jake replied, his voice tinged with regret. "I'll try to be more careful, I promise." And true to his word, Jake did try. With Tommy by his side, guiding him with patience and understanding, Jake learned to temper his recklessness with wisdom, to channel his boundless energy into positive pursuits. And so, as the years passed and the two boys grew into young men, their friendship remained as strong as ever. Tommy continued to be the beacon of goodness that illuminated the path ahead, while Jake became the fearless leader who fearlessly forged ahead, blazing trails and leaving his mark on the world. For in the end, they discovered that it wasn't their differences that defined them, but the bond that held them together, stronger than steel and deeper than the deepest ocean. And together, they knew that there was nothing they couldn't overcome, no adventure too wild, no challenge too daunting, as long as they faced it together, hand in hand, heart to heart.